All right. No, I was trying to get this one and then another one next to it, but I was gonna use the same website and it looks like shit. So we'll go over the legend real quick. This tier list, SS tier. This tier comprises God tiered characters, which have the innate ability to be placed on any team with any comp and carry alone. This does not apply to competitive. There's no motherfucker that's carrying alone every fucking game. But this applies like ranked and shit. Only a handful of gods have ever reached SS. That's bullshit. There's like fucking out of the 90 gods, 30 of them have been SS at some point. Then you got S plus, your quintessential top tiers, which will generally dictate meta stylings and composition. These gods are usually first pick / first ban material. S tier, slightly above the point balance. This pool of gods should compromise the team compositions for most competitive games. The EBB and flow, I don't know what the fuck that means, and flow of meta swing and flavors of the month may sway this slightly in favor of certain players' abilities and strengths. Everybody. A tier, the focal point of balance. These gods should see no changes. Given their current abilities and competitive high level play, new players should flock to this pool, as their time invested will likely not be wasted due to nerfs, buffs, or changes in playstyle. B tier, still somewhat strong, but not competitively viable in all situations, are generally a bit more difficult to place on a team than A or S tier gods. C is weak overall. The team composition generally will lead to be built around a character in this pool. See, I don't. This is kind of weird because like a C tier god is one that isn't a team comp isn't built around it. It's a god that just happens to fit perfectly into your comp while also being good against the other comp. Then D tier is your shit, fucking tier shit, shady shit. So for him, he's got nothing in SS, nothing completely broken. Honestly, kind of agree right now. This is DM Brandon's tier list on his Juice Gaming website. I think it's smitetierlist.com. Anyway, S plus, we've got Baron, we've got Chernobog, we've got Freya, we've got Janice, we've got Mercury, and we have Pele. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and just knock this one the fuck out of there. This bitch, there's no fucking way you put this bitch anywhere near S plus. Nowhere near S. Maybe you could argue A plus, but it's definitely an A god. There's no fucking way you put Janice anywhere near the top of the fucking tier. For one, the game is highly played around pressure, and Janice does not have the most pressure in the game. For two, the game is played a lot around red buff invades, purple buff invades. 99% of the time, you need to be there beforehand. While Janice has a really good rotation overall, you're not Janice ulting to be there before the fight starts. So there's a lot of gods that are going to do way better in those team fights than a fucking Janice. So there's that. Then you've got Pele. Pele is, in my eyes, the most overrated god right now in Smite. I would put Pele in A plus because there are some people that fucking do work with Pele. But overall, Pele doesn't have the best clear anymore. So the high clear is gone. Doesn't have the most pressure in the game at all. Not even fucking close to it. So out of the jungle, pretty mad. As a solo laner, definitely a strong god, but there are a shit ton of counters to it. A fuck ton. We'll go over that in a later video. There are a lot of good counters to Pele. So as a solo laner, nowhere near S plus. As a jungler, not even the same fucking vicinity as A plus. So here are your top gods in my eyes. Baron could be argued to put an S because there's a lot of stuff, especially when Baron is going into a specific role. So if you're in ranked and they know they're playing against fucking Jeff Hinla, and Jeff Hinla's bitch ass, just kidding, I love Jeff, picks Baron, then you know Baron's going support. So you can play a lane that fucking just destroys the Baron, just fucking dives that bitch and he gets wrecked. GG, Baron's out of the game. So there are good counters to that. Chernobog can be played in mid or ADC. Not really counterpicking Chernobog most of the time. You can pressure it in the duo lane and have it go really well in your favor, but then you could just flex the god to the mid lane and Chernobog will just do what he needs to do. Freya, mid lane, really good, especially in your rank games. ADC, really good at pretty much all levels. Lots of pressure. Shit tons of pressure. Unfucking stoppable. Oh, you guys can't see C tier. Hold on. I got you. 1 second. There you go. Mercury with Golden Blades, the best jungler in the game. Probably the best god in the game. Mercury's OP. S plus is perfect. Mainly because Mercury's not OP. It's the item that works with Mercury's one so well that makes him OP. S tier, you've got Agni, we've got Alquan, we've got Athena, we have Bellona, we have Chalk, we have Erlong, we have Geb, we have Raijin, we have Rama, we have Morgan, and we have Ul. Now, this is just no. No. Agni has. Let's go back to the legend. Slightly above the point of balance. This pool of this god should compromise the team compositions for most competitive games. No. Agni has a lot of horrible matchups, a lot of matchups where he has no pressure, and is not going to be good at all. You're not a god you're just going to throw. You're not going to be like, I need a mid laner here. Let's just drop an Agni. Like, no, you want to know. There's reasons. There are mid laners that you can do that shit on. There's gods where it'll be fine because you know you have pressure. You can't just drop an Agni in any fucking team comp. Quanger Banger, very similar shit. If you don't have pressure somewhere, or you aren't heavy stacking physical damage, it's very unlikely you're going to want to pick a Quanger Banger. Quanger's really good at carrying, way better in a ranked game than a competitive game. The god is sick, but there's a reason you pick it. It's not going to compromise. You're not just going to have a Quang in fucking 8 out of your 10 competitive games. It's not going to fucking happen. It's just not going to happen. There's no pressure early. You need the right team comps to be able to do the good shit. Or if you're just going for a full carry, you're playing the farm, and a team's going to stop your farm if you don't have clear somewhere and an advantage somewhere. Athena could be argued in S+, honestly. God's sick until people have Magi's Blessing. Bellona, fuck no. I'm putting Bellona in A. We'll go back to the legend. A, the focal point of balance. Bellona is by far, in a way, an average god. You're not going to pick a fucking Bellona first, second, third pick as a solo laner and not get counterpicked. Like, you're going to get counterpicked and you're going to have a rough lane. You're not just picking Bellona. It's not happening. Chalk. What the fuck, bro? What the fuck? B tier. Still somewhat strong. I don't even know why I put it there. Fuck no. I didn't even. His C tier is so weird. Where the fuck did Chalk's bitch ass go? Where you at? Where you at, Chalk? Where's Chalk? Where did I put him? What did I do to Chalk? I'm blind. Alright, we'll pretend Chalk is in B+ tier because weak overall. Weak. Oh, I did put him in B+? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Ha! My brain knew what was up. Weak, or sorry, somewhat strong, going down to C. Boom. Wait, why is there a B tier? There's a B+ and a B? What is this? Get your ass down in C, bitch. Weak overall. Weak overall. Weak overall. Weak. What does Chalk even do? Slow you? Silence you for half a second? Motherfucker. No. Weak. Poo poo. No. All right, what do we have next? Geb, A tier. Focal point of balance. Geb is average. Only becomes strong when you have some fucking comp plan you're playing against that it's like a perfect counter. Like, Geb becomes good against like a Surcat, against an Athena. And even then, there's better shit because you want pressure. So no. And this whole tier list, if we went over it, right? Most competitive games. This is a competitive high level play. This is a competitive based tier list. So far, I'm looking at a tier list of somebody who has no fucking clue what's going on in competitive play. So far, that's where we're at right now. Because, goddamn, if you think Chalk's gonna work in a fucking SPL match all the time, you're fucking mind blown. If you think Geb's gonna get played all the time, you're fried, dude. You're fucking fried. Erlang Shen, really, really good jungler. Not so, like, Soul Lane's okay. It's not bad. If you get the right matchups, if your last pick is Soul Laner and it's just the pick, it's going to be good for you because it'll be the pick. But saying, like, slightly above the point of balance, maybe you could argue that in the jungle. Like, I like Erlang in the jungle. You could argue. All right, no names in the chat. None of that shit. I don't care if you think fucking buttholes are stupid. I don't want to see Mr. Butthole 123 is stupid in my chat. I don't care about names. So none of that shit.
2 more months till 2-year resub.
Dream Killer, thank you for the tier 2, I don't know, regular sub, 22 months. Thank you, dude. Anyway, Erlang, good jungler. I'm not going to argue against the S placement because I think Erlang's good. But I lied. I'm going to argue it. We're putting it in A+. Motherfucker, if you top pick an Erlang, so as slightly above the point of balance, this pool of gods should compromise most team compositions in competitive games. If you just pick an Erlang Shen, there is so much shit that is going to be annoying for you. So much shit that's going to be annoying for you. If you're an Erlang Shen jungler and you're playing against a Sir Cat, good luck. Have fun, bitch. See you later. Bye. Have a good time. You're playing against a Quanger Banger? No. Just no. Don't do it. So we'll put him in A plus since I do think he's good. Raijin, another mid laner that I personally can't I can't put Raijin above fucking Opwash. I can't do it. I really don't want to put Raijin in the same pool as Agni, but I don't think Raijin is S tier. I do think Raijin is very good. I think Raijin can bring pressure. Raijin's got poke. Raijin is somewhat safe against most gods, other than that little bit of time frame if you ult in a poor position and you're out in the open and you're getting fucked because you're immobile. It happens. But Raijin overall is good. Morrigan, I'll put in S tier, has counter picks like Zhang Kui and shit like that, will do well against the Morrigan mid. But overall, she's good. She can swap into whoever you want. She's really good in team fights with the Bumba's mask, at least the old Bumba's mask. Sick. It's good. Ul, high pressure in the mid lane. Not really a crazy ADC. You're just playing around pressure in the mid lane. I will say Ul is good. I won't say you'll see Uller in every game. I won't say you based on slightly above point of balance, this god should comprise most team comps. I don't agree that Ul is in most team comps at all. So we're putting Ul down to A plus. Now we go into this streamer's A plus tree. You got Achilles. No, Achilles is extremely average. What is his average? Still somewhat strong, but not competitively viable in all situations. That's going to be Achilles. B plus. A little bit above that. We'll put Achilles in B plus. He doesn't do anything. Oh, I didn't do Rama yet. My bad. We'll talk about Rama in a second. But Achilles doesn't do anything. He's not bad. Like, you can play him and make it work, but he doesn't give you pressure in lane. His team fight isn't insane. He isn't a crazy frontline god. He can be annoying, but you can punish him so hard that he's never going to be annoying. We've got Rama. Who's messaging me? Oh, Tally, thank you. We have Rama. Rama's good. I personally like Rama. I think Rama is fairly safe. I think Rama has a good laning phase. I think you can pick Rama almost all the time and not have a terrible matchup. I like Rama. Personally, it comes down to the support most of the times once you pick your ADC. So I like Rama. That's where I'm at. I think Rama's good in S tier. I think that's a good placement. Now we've got Pwash. Pwash is moving up for me into S tier. I think Pwash is tanky. Pwash is annoying. Pwash has high clear in the mid lane, which is extremely important. Pwash has counterplay to a lot of healing gods, a lot of gods in general. I think Pwash can be outlaned in terms of if you first pick Pwash, there can be something that could technically push you. But I think once you get into team fights, the god is still strong. I think you're able to hold your own. I think you're able to live through a lot of shit because the Book of the Dead and Aegis using your actives correctly goes a long way. It's really hard to dive with Pwash. It really is. It's a lot harder than you think. We moved Quang down already. We have Daji. Once again, the focal point of balance. He's saying A plus, so slightly above the focal point of balance. I think you're only picking Daji into perfect matchups and a perfect team comps. The god has horrible early clear, negative to no pressure in terms of fighting before level 5 with boots. Granted, that is just the early game, but then Magi's Blessing, gods with CC immune alts, and beats. How often are you honestly going to have a Daji in, in no changes? New players should flock to this pool. Time invested will likely not be wasted. I think you'd be wasting your time if you played a lot of Daji. And he's saying they're above that. They're slightly above that level. I don't really agree. I'd say still somewhat strong would be an okay placement, not competitively viable in all situations. I think that's the perfect place for Daji, maybe even B+, because there are more. But, think about it. You're a Daji. You alt a Baron. Nope. Chernobog. Nope. Freya. Nope. Mercury. Nope. All CC immune alts. Opwash? Sure, you might pull an Opwash, right? It might happen. Say you do pull an Opwash. A good Opwash on a good competitive team is going to eat the pool. They're going to Aegis all the incoming damage off the pool. They're going to drop their ult, and their team is going to collapse on top of you on that ult. Your team's fucked. Athena, CC immune ult, not getting pulled. Rama, CC immune ult, not getting pulled. Morrigan can ult in whoever the fuck she wants. She's not getting pulled. Just looking at the top 8 gods, Daji has no place. Sure, Daji's, once you're one-shotting people, you can fuck a Freya. Great. But aside from that, no. Just no. I bet him. Gonna go with a solid just B plus for Daji. 100%. We already moved Erlang, Ganesh. I don't like Ganesha. I'd say Ganesh is B plus just because he doesn't bring too much. He doesn't do anything exceptionally well to make him a god that should be in every game. Hebo, kind of a one trick. You have at late game, you have to hit multiple people with your ult to be useful. Because if you're gonna die once you ult in, you're gonna die. So you need to take 2 people with you. Can't put him in as a god that should be played all the time and a god you should focus on at all. Hachi, fairly safe. I'm okay with the A plus placement. I'd probably put him in A. That's just he's a safe god, decent clear, not the best, not the worst. You can play him most of the time. Fuck you, Vedium. Vedium, I'll bring you on. We'll do a dual tier list on the next one. 2 weeks. We'll do another one, and you can help me. Help me. I just did Hachiman. Shut up. Hunbats, I'd put an A. I'd say Hunbats can be picked most of the time. Doesn't have crazy early game, crazy early clear, but team fight is insane, so you get away with it. Jingwei, safe, okay god. A tier would be perfect for her because she can be played all the time. She's fine. Kumba, A plus. I'm alright with that. Good support. Lockdown, damage, clear, everything you need. Medusa, A plus or A tier are fine because you got pressure. Neath, A plus. A tier is fine. Global pressure, probably a mid laner more than an ADC. Naja still has early clear. A plus or A is fine. Osiris dropping down. What is B plus again? Still somewhat strong, but not competitively viable in all situations. How often do you see an Osiris? Honestly, how often do you see Osiris? Nobody's fucking playing him. He doesn't have any relevance at all. Honestly, as a jungler, he's fairly easy to kill most of the time, especially when he's overcommitting with his fucking ult. His laning phase isn't crazy. His rotations aren't that good. His team fight is meh. No, Osiris is not a god you should be playing a lot. It's not a god you'll see in a lot of competitive matches. We did Pele, we did Raijin. Rat, I'd say even after the nerfs, Rat is definitely good in A+. Extremely annoying god built as a hybrid. Serket, I would move up. I'd say Serket is probably one of the best junglers in the game next to Mercury. If Golden Blade receives any nerf at all, I'd say Serket and Mercury are on the same tier, same level. There's like no counterplay to Serket that's built incorrectly at all. There's not that much counterplay. There are some overall team comps that'll be annoying. You pick gods like Artemis, Agni, Kukulkan, Artio, Sobek, things that can kind of be annoying for the god. It'll fuck you over, but that's all focusing on that one god. Like that shit would have to be put into you, and you'd have to be slightly out of position for it to be really, really useful against you. Wukong, I'd say Wukong is not a little bit below average. Like not a god you should be focused on, but okay. Still somewhat strong, I'd say. Wukong, perfect placement. He clears the lane. That's about it. Save god, that's hard to be ganked. They're hard to actually kill as someone ganking them. You're kind of just there. Zhongqi, I'd say, is one of the better mids. A plus is fine. Maybe even moving up to S tier. Zhongqi's pretty sick. Can't really pick it because there are good matchups against it. There's shit that can take it out of the game. Kumba, Naja. There's just things that can make your ult worthless. And if that happens, you will get fucked. You're able to play around that. Fine. Solid A plus god. Ama, I'd move up to A plus. Ama's nasty as a solo laner and as a support. You have a physical option if you want to go mages elsewhere. You want to play Vulcan ADC. You want to play Hebo jungle. You want to play Zhongqi solo. Whatever. Ama's good. Like Ama's a solid god. Doesn't have pressure most of the time, but paired with other gods, it can have pressure. It can brawl. Put against low pressure solo laners. It'll get the farm it needs to then pressure later on. Ama's good. Honor, I'd move up to A. I'd move to A plus. Honestly, I think Honor is in like a place where you can pick Honor early and be fine because you can swap it in the mid lane or the ADC. Has clear. The ult's insane. You're good to go. Fuck you, Vedium. Fuck you. Apollo, I'd move down to B plus. I don't think Apollo is very good. I don't think you should be playing Apollo a lot. I'd say he's still somewhat strong in terms of competitive play. You don't see a lot of Apollo. Ares, I'd put into B plus. Still somewhat strong. Not a god you should be focused on a lot. Gets fucked really hard. Baka, still somewhat strong. Has clear. Has a terrible team fight. There. Bologna's been moved already. Kabrakan, B plus. Like you can play Kabrakan. It can work into the right team comps. It will not be a god you focus on. It will not be a god that can what is the definition one more time? The focal point of balance. These gods should see no changes and basically should be seen in a lot of games. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't see Kabrakan. It shouldn't happen. There's no fucking reason that Kabrakan is something you're picking all the time. You're just like, give me Kabrakan. No, there's no reason. Kabrakan doesn't do anything. If you have the right matchup, you need magical damage somewhere. Sure. You need some crazy burst. Sure. They have 0 leaps and 0 mobility. Sure. It could have some use, but only in those situations. Camazotz. I think Camazotz is doo-doo balls. Going down there with chalk. Weak overall. What does Camazotz even do? What does Camazotz even do? I have no idea. I'm doing it, Sam. Kama's going into C tier, bro. You, homie, Mass, you Kama fucking mains. C tier. Shit god. No CC. The damage coming out of him ain't shit anymore. His pressure ain't shit anymore. Fuck Camazotz. He'll probably get buffed after this, and then I'll hate him again. Cerberus, I'd probably say Cerberus is good. God, you should be playing. Chiron's really good. I'd probably move Chiron up to A+, mid or ADC. You have to use the Dispel.
Nice.
And once you're using the Dispel, you're good to go. Alpena, thank you for the 8 months, dude. But yeah, as long as you're using the Dispel, then Chiron's basically fucking disgusting. You should be playing a fuck ton of him. Kronos? And what? Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Some people on my team have played this in the past month. And after the game, I said, if you ever pick that god again, I don't care if we're in an SPL match, a LAN match, we're in the world's grand fucking finals, I'm going to get up, disconnect my keyboard, and walk straight out of the fucking building. Straight out of the fucking building. C tier. Fuck Kronos. Shit god. Doesn't do anything. Has no point. Garbage. Dies super fucking fast. Has no pressure. Doesn't bring anything to the team fight. Garbage. Straight garbage. Cucullin's good. Solid. Average god. Like, or above average. That's what it is. Focal point. It's balanced. Cucullin's balanced. Good god. Cupid. I'd say Cupid is balanced, but I'd say falls more into somewhat strong, not competitively viable in all situations. If you pick a Cupid into a team comp that has pressure and isn't countered by Cupid, so say your team comp has pressure and doesn't need to leap to do all their fucking damage, Cupid is trash. Just straight fucking trash in that situation. Overall, a lot of the time Cupid can be played into the gods that are good right now. I mean, you're looking at a lot of mobile gods or gods that can be annoying against. But you can't just fucking just drop a Cupid in every team comp. So B+ is where I'll place him. Discordia, I'd put into B+. God is okay. Okay would be the best way to describe Discordia. She doesn't have pressure in mid. She isn't extremely annoying. She doesn't do crazy amounts of damage. She isn't that safe. She's like subpar in all areas right now. Fafnir, I'm okay with leaving in A. I already moved Geb to A. We moved Hachi to A. Hercules doesn't get played that much, but I'd say he's probably a little above like average. You can play him. I think the top solo laners pull him out and do work with him every once in a while because they feel like it. I'd say there's just better gods. That's why he's not played. Ho Yi, I think, is good in A. Really good, decent laning phase. Really annoying. Able to kill tanks. Able to play into a lot of the shit that's being picked. Able to clear buffs early as an ADC. That's really important. You're good to go. Hun Bats was already moved. Janice was already moved. Jing Wei, I think I moved. Kali. How the fuck does this bitch ends up in A? Focal point of balance. What? I'm pretty sure like 2 pro junglers play this shit, and it's just because they get so fucking hyped up off locking this shit in that carries them through the game. They're so excited and cracked out that they're the only ones able to play Kali. Shit ass fucking god. Going into C tier. Kepri, below average. No initiation, no team fight, pretty average peel, horrible engage, just has an ultimate. That's it. That's he has an ultimate. Kazimbo, I'd say, is fine. Extremely annoying solo laner, especially with Mercury being in the meta. Kazimbo against Mercury, good. I don't know how Loki ends up in a competitive tier list as the focal point of balance. I know in my ranked tier list, I put Loki really high because at the time, Loki was played in every game and Loki had like a 95% win rate and there's no reason to play against it. But in a competitive game, I don't remember the last time anyone's even troll shown Loki. That was like Cyclone in 2001 Worlds. Fucking Like, no, nobody ever played it. Cyclone will be like, yeah, I could play it if I felt like it, but I'm not even gonna play it. What do we got? Nemesis. I hate Nemesis. I don't think there's any good builds on Nemesis. Granted, there's a buff coming to Nemesis really soon. Because of that, I want to leave Nemesis in this area. So by the time you guys watch this, you're like, yeah, 2001 Worlds. Smite was in its infancy inside Erez's brain. Cyclone was already the top player. Um, fucking yeah, we're putting him into B plus because when you guys look at this tier list after the boss, you'll be like, oh, but Nemesis is OP because right now, not that great. Can be played. Needs to get to late game. Has a horrible early game. Can be played. After the patch, will be played a lot more. Nike, I'd say Nike is a little bit below. Just doesn't do too much in team fights. Can be annoying, but it's not like automatically annoying. It's not a fucking Cullen running at your ass, destroying you. Like Nike uses an ability, you can cancel it, and then she's just kind of there. End of story. What do we got next? Nox B plus. Definitely not something you should be focused on playing a lot. Slightly, what is it? Somewhat strong. Nox doesn't do too much. It's really not that good. Some people have that niche of this is what they want to play in the support or in mid, or they just know how to play it into a certain matchup perfectly, so they'll do stuff with it. Outside of those people, I'd say it is not somewhat strong at all. Nua, shit. Going into. I think Nua, shit. I think weak overall is perfect for Nua. At the same time, I'd say you could still argue somewhat strong because the god is safe. You get the late game, all you have to do is fucking ult. You're able to kill anyone diving you. So you've got that trade off. I'll leave her in B for now, and we'll just go with it. We'll say that's okay. Where are we at? Where are we at? We're at Raw. I don't think Raw is good. I'd say somewhat strong for Raw. CCM ult is nice. The healing can go go far in a long game. But with pressure being in the meta, with diving being in the meta, Raw is just putting himself out there to fucking die over and over and over again. Ravana's okay in A tier. Shit early game, but as a jungler, once you can dive a lot of these gods being played, you're diving Freya, you're diving Pwash, you're able to immune taunts and shit. You're able to do a lot with Ravana, so I'd say Ravana's good in A. Scylla, I'd put in B+, somewhat strong, but not crazy clear, not the best god every game. Sobek, A tier is fine. Average god, Soul, played in solo lane. Soul, I'd say is probably one of the more underrated mid laners. I'll put Soul in B+. I think Soul should be played more in the mid. I think the pressure is there after a lot of these gods are banned. But overall, it's still Soul. Not a high mobility god. If you fall behind it all, you're pretty fucked. You need to be good on Soul. Susano, no. B tier. Shit clear. Average team fight. Can work in the right team comps. Has to hit late game, like mid-late to late game. That's about it. Where does this come from, dude? Like, in my head, if I'm not a competitive player, right? Like I'm trying to pretend I'm a caster or I'm like somebody who very rarely watches the SPL. Okay, but I think I know a lot. That's what my head's trying to go to. When the hell is Thanatos ever picked? Yeah, Sobek. I'm leaving Sobek in A tier. When does Thanatos ever get played? Yeah, I skipped Terra for a reason because I saw Thanatos. What? No. The focal point of balance. This motherfucker doesn't do anything if you miss a single scythe. And then even if you hit every scythe in a team fight, you're running around with no mobility, no pressure. Your ultimate can be annoying if your team is fucking fragging. Hindu man, shut your mouth, dude. Aquarius pulled off some jank ass shit that worked for 2 games, maybe 3, and then they lost, okay? Thanatos is some doo-doo. I'll still put him at still somewhat strong because Hindu man tells me, hey, Aquarius fragged on somebody because they fought into a first rushed boots Thanatos, okay? Shut your mouth, Hindu. What's up, demonic cult? Thank you for the resub, the gifted sub to Hindu. Of course, you're subbing Hindu after you try to shit talk me. Terra, I think Terra's sick. I think Terra's probably one of the better gods in the game. S tier, slightly above the point of balance. Can flex the support or solo. I've been told that on the box, they play that motherfucker in mid lane and do like 1,000 damage ults. That's competitive. Competitive box, bro. Gotta take it into account. Terra's insane. Damage is annoying. She's able to literally just blink dive the backline with the ultimate and being annoying. So you pair Terra with anything else that dives. Turtlebogs, Circuits, Mercuries, Rats, Quain, anything that dives, you're good to go. I know, Hindu, I know. Um, Fucking, what's next? Vulcan, I'd say Vulcan needs to be moved up. I think Vulcan's one of the better mids as soon as you finish your, thank you for another gifted sub. As soon as you finish your Bumba's Mask, Vulcan's online. It's hard as fuck to just get to a Vulcan. You take a god with virtually no mobility, except for a 2-foot back off. Thank you for the sub, David. And then you give it Bumba's Mask, insane CDR with movement speed, and it goes from trash to what the fuck is this god doing? In a good way. Shing 10 dropping all the way down to fucking C tier. Weak overall. Shing 10 doesn't do shit. That doesn't mean Shing 10 can't win a game. But as a god, you're not like, damn, I really, really, really wish we would pick Shing 10 in our top 3 gods. Never happened. Ymir, B tier. You're playing full pressure if you're picking Ymir, so I'll say somewhat strong. Because that's the only time you're fucking playing his ass. What do we got? Then we got Zeus. How does a 0 mobility, slow damage producing mage glass cannon in this meta with, I'd say, low pressure when plays against the, like you put a Zeus against a Posh, you're not gonna have any pressure. You're never gonna turn a corner. Your team is gonna have to do so much for you. I am putting Zeus down in the C tier, weak overall. Fuck that shit. I don't care if every mid starts playing Zeus tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if EU loves this shit. I don't care if friggin' Baskin says I will only play Zeus for the rest of my life. Zeus is shit. Zeus is trash. Zeus is op wash with no self-sustain and hard as fuck damage to confirm. Slow damage. No. Zeus going into C tier. We did Achilles. Amuzin Cab, I'd say, is okay in B tier. You're playing pressure if you're playing it. It's kind of like the Ymir of ADCs in my eyes. Anubis, I don't. Somewhat strong on Anubis. C tier. Anubis, you clear the wave, but you have to stand still. Your damage is nice in your ult, but you have to be still. You can kill like Gold Furies and Fire Giants, I guess. I guess that's what you could do. Go for it. That's where I'm at. I think Aphrodite's okay. You're playing in a solo lane. You're giving up pressure. You're playing for the late game. Apollo, we moved. Ares, I think we moved. Artemis, I'd say, as B tier, flat up or straight up after the nerfs. I'm just putting Artemis D tier. She's okay. She's not bad. I'd still play her in a certain matchups. That's why B tier. Wheelix, I'd say B tier. Pretty average god. No pressure early. Really good mid lane. If they have a lot of leaps, you could sneak it in there. It's one of those gods you'd play because it works in your team comp. That's simple. You don't see many Wheelixes at all. Bacchus, I'd say, this is hard. I don't want to say Bacchus is somewhat strong, but I don't want to say he's extremely weak. I want to say he's like average. I want to say he's not somewhat strong or weak. I want to put him right in the fucking middle. So we'll just drop him into B for now. Bacchus flops in and then dies. If you have crazy dive pressure, Bacchus is going to come out with a W. But aside from that, no. I think we moved Bacchusur already. Nobody's playing Bastet because you have 0 pressure. Your mid game's okay. Your late game, if you're able to free cast and do damage, is nasty. But that just doesn't happen a lot. So I'll say weak overall. We already moved Kabrakin. CERN never gets played. I think CERN was just buffed too, and I still never see him get played. So I don't have a really good opinion outside of okay god. We moved Cupid already. We moved Dodgy already. We moved Discordia. Fenrir, Magi's, CC immune alts, and beads. Fenrir's not doing shit, so I'm going to drop him into B tier. Ganesha, we moved. No one plays Guan because you're not getting lane pressure. There's a shit ton of anti-heal in the game. The dive is so slow and delayed.
You forgot Vamana.
I'll move Vamana in a minute. Thank you, Demon Zerg. I'm putting Guan down in the C tier. Like, if you early lock in a Guan in top 3, you're playing against Circuit and Odin, a fucking, like, Chunga. Like, it's going to be a bad time. For Vamana, what is this A tier? I keep forgetting. Focal point of balance. I'd say Vamana's pretty balanced. I'd say Vamana can be played a lot of the time, but is going to get counterpicked. You can have pressure in lane, like literally just clear the lane. That's all you're going to do. You can be annoying. You can bully people. I'd say the god does a lot better in rank than it does in competitive play. Hades, trash, C tier. I mean, Hades dives in. Hades can be annoying, but like you're not winning most lanes. You're not pressuring. You're not doing that annoying shit until your team gets you to late game / mid late game. I don't think Hades is good. I think what do we got next? Hebo. I'd say Hebo is a little bit above the overall, slightly okay. You can play Hebo still, but it's a huge like risk, I guess. That's why you see someone like Paul. Like Paul is the perfect Hebo god, right? He's mastered the motherfucker. His positioning is nasty for Hebo. Because if he's ulting on Hebo, it's either a free safe ult where he's gonna ult you, you're gonna die and he's gonna take no damage, or he's gonna hit 2 or 3 people. So I'll leave Hebo in B plus or B. I'd say somewhere in there average. I'll put B for now because that's where it's at. He's got the pressure. It's just a risky god because you hit really hard, but late game you usually hit really hard and die really fast. Isis, we're moving down into C tier because she doesn't have pressure anymore against most gods. She's easily countered. Her objective clear is still there, but like you're still picking Isis instead of having like a Thoth or a Kalkin ult or a Raw ult or Op Wash fucking nuke or really anything that does damage while also able to kill people. So like, why would you want that? Izanami, I'm gonna move up. I think Izanami's probably one of the better ADCs, just because if you know how to play around pressure, you're pretty fucked if you're against an Izanami. Like, if Izanami is pushing the lead, which she's gonna have, you're fucked. Good luck. Have fun. See you later. Next up, we moved Kepri already. Kakalkin's fine in B+. Can clear, has pressure early. Just need to hit your ults. Nemesis, we moved. Nike, we moved. Nox, we moved. Odin, good in the counter matchups. Really, I guess the somewhat strong is okay because he's somewhat strong against immobile gods and healing gods. He can be annoying. Osiris, we moved. Poseidon, we haven't really touched, but average god, he clears. People buy objective, or I can't fucking speak, buy actives, and he's fucked. Because everyone's going to have an Aegis against Poseidon. Even the supports are going to have beads or Aegis, and they're never going to die if they really think you're going to focus them. We move Scylla, we move Sol, we move Wukong. I'd say Sylvanas is fine. His pressure's okay. He's just easy to clear, so B plus is fine. B plus is fine with Thor. Thoth, after the nerfs, B plus. Tyr, Xbalanque. All of them are good. I would move up Artio because you're playing around pressure, and Artio can be flexed in the solo or support, and you can have pressure. Not a bad god. Like, you can literally, like, you pick Artio and you're going for pressure. You know you're picking pressure. You'll be fine. Oelix, we moved. Bacchus, we moved. Cern, we moved. Chunga, I moved up to B plus or A. I'd probably put Chunga in A. I don't really know why Chunga's so low in his list, considering Chunga's annoying. There aren't that many gods that you are just gonna pick to fucking farm the shit out of Chunga. Like I said, Circuits and shit are going to do well against it, but Circuits and shit are gonna be banned. Or they're gonna third, fourth ban a Circuit, pick the Chunga then. That's what's gonna happen in a competitive game. So Chunga is good in those situations, still a really solid god. We moved Hebo. Hell is trash, so fine in B. Scotty's trash. We moved all the other ones. Weak overall. Perfect for Arachne, which he had there. I think Arachne was his only weak overall god. I moved all the other ones. This is literally, in my eyes, like a near perfect tier list. Chunga's heal doesn't heal much. It's like a 3-second cooldown for like a 200 heal. So it's not a big burst heal, but in a sustained fight, which you're able to play around right now very easily, especially with gods like Baron. Like, if a Baron can be played, then a Chunga can be played. Because a Baron is a long range, annoying ass god, and Chunga is a closer range, annoying ass god. You see these gods get played. Like, literally, you go to a competitive match, especially like from the last 2 weeks until like this last week, you will see most of these gods played at some point or banned at some point. I'd say Geb might be Hercules, maybe a little bit less likely, but all the other ones I feel like you more than likely will see. Maybe in Bologna you could drop down. You will see in a competitive game. Whereas B tier and B plus, these are all gods you could see, and you might think, I want to play. I don't know. You're going up against a team comp, and you're like, I kind of want to play Dodgy, but I also still have access to Erlang Shen. So Dodgy does well here, but could get counterpicked here, whereas Erlang Shen's really good against this, this, and this, and more than likely not going to get counterpicked. So you'll pick the Erlang Shen. This is, my eyes, maybe not a perfect tier list, because I could go through tomorrow or tonight and be like, yeah, I was probably wrong here. But overall, a really solid tier list of all the gods you're going to see in competitive play. And this is all based around his legend, that or the website's legend. I don't know who the fuck made this shit. This is all based around this. I think it's almost perfectly accurate. And then, like I said, you're seeing them get buffed soon. I don't know the nerfs. What about Cherno and Baron nerfs? I don't know what their nerfs are. Probably after the nerfs, you're gonna see them played a little bit less. But overall, they're good gods. This is my tier list. That's simple. That is how I don't think I fully changed. I did change a fuck ton of his tier list because his B plus and this shit was like empty. But I don't see how all like I don't know how Fenrir could be a focal point of balance. Like you never fucking see Fenrir. When the last time I remember Fenrir being played was like adapting because he was just gonna make people smell his balls, and then like I think was it Sinosure, and they had a crazy strat where they were literally fucking spam picking the front line of the supports and just dumping everything into them, and then half resetting and then re-engaging. So like I don't see how those are gods that you would put in focal point of balance, like played all the time type shit. I don't agree. I don't even see how you could argue it. I feel like the only way you could is if you never watched competitive matches. That's where I'm at. That's my tier list.